Hello friends, let's talk. I'm Gina, certified personal trainer and nutrition specialist here at the Greater You. I wanted to talk to you today about ways to make healthy eating a habit. In my last video, I talked about building habits and the power of habit when it comes to keeping your exercise program going. And there's also a video I could refer you back to that Coach Quentin did about habit, but I will see if I can link it in the description. So both great videos to look at if you would like to create better habits. So I want to talk about healthy eating habits. It's really hard to change your habits, I know, and most of us eat out of habit, right? We do it every day. We get hungry, we go get what we normally get, and we eat it the way we normally eat it. I have two options that you can use to build in where your eating becomes habitual and habit. I know some people don't love that idea. Some people love variety and they love to just eat whatever they feel like eating whenever they feel like eating it. Which, if that works for you and you're able to maintain a healthy diet, that's fantastic. Some people that find that they eat a little more chaotically or emotionally or out of boredom or whatever the case may be might want to use some of these tips. And by the way, I will be making more videos in the future about emotional eating specifically because I know how difficult it is to stop doing that. And that it can really derail your greatest intentions. But without further ado, method number one I use is portion planning. So in order to do this, you find your calories, how many you need for the day. There's tons of online calculators out there that can help you figure out what calorie bracket you're in. And then you split all those calories into what's called your macros, your macronutrients, which are carbohydrate, fat, and protein. You need all three. And what you do then is figure out what percentage of your calories should be coming from protein, what percentage should be coming from carbs, what percentage should be coming from fat. And then what I do is I list all the foods that people like in each category and then find out how much of each of those foods equals 100 calories. And then I set up a chart, a meal chart, where I take, if a certain person has, say, 2,000 calories and half of them are going to come from protein, then I would take 1,000 calories and I would split that into 10 portions of protein. And then I would make a chart that has like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and I would start plugging in proteins until I got to 10. Okay, so 10 portions of 100 calories equals 1,000, right? And then I would move on to the carbs and to the fat. And then what I do is pay attention to obviously your micronutrients as well. Those are going to be your minerals and your vitamins. And we all need at least 3 servings of dairy. So I would make sure that like my cheese would be a fat that I could use, and I would make sure I had a serving of cheese for calcium. I also, milk can be spread between, it has protein and carbs in it, and unless you're drinking skim milk, it also has fat. So that can be tricky, but what I do is I drink the Fairlife protein milk or Carb Master milk, and what that is, it's filtered milk. They take the lactose out of it, and then you're left with the protein part of the milk. And I think it tastes great. And in fact, I drink the chocolate flavor of Carb Master, and it's really tasty. Or I like to also, if I have the white milk, then I have a sugar-free hot chocolate mix that someday I'll share with you guys. Anyway, so all that being said, what I'm telling you this for is that I count each of my milks as protein. So it's high in protein, so I just plug that in for 3 of my proteins. And then also in the micronutrient category, you need at least 2 fruits and at the very least 4 vegetables. And usually 1 cup of vegetables is about 50 calories. So I eat at least 2 cups of vegetables for lunch and 2 cups of vegetables for dinner. And that equals about, 200 calories worth of vegetables in my day. And it's a lot, and it's hard to eat that much, I know. But it's so important. All of those little vitamins are doing so much for your energy and helping your body recover from your exercise and making new cells, and you literally are what you eat. So make it a habit of eating all of those fruits and vegetables. Treats are usually going to be carbohydrate and fat. So if I'm planning a treat into my meal chart, then I will count it as a carb and a fat, depending on how many calories it is. So every time you go to eat, you reference your chart. You look at it and you say, okay, for breakfast, I'm having 1 carb, 1 protein, 1 fruit, and a half of a fat, for example. And then you can make your breakfast based on that. When you go to eat lunch, you look at your chart and you see maybe it says 1 carb, 1 protein, 2 vegetables, 1 fat. And you go, okay, I can make my meal based on that. And then, for snacks and dinner and whatever, so on and so forth, you're making sure that you're following what's on your chart. And I know this is really complex, and it is a service that I do for people. I do charge for it. But if you are interested in having me help you make your own chart, comment, send me a message, whatever you want to do, I'd love to help you. But if you just want to do it for free, take a little time and dig into your nutrition and find out your calories and your macros and make yourself a chart. The second thing I do to keep my eating as a healthy habit is meal prep. This is awesome. I still would do step 1, plan out my chart for each day of eating to make sure that I'm in the ballpark with my calories and my macros and my micros. And then I spend a day in the kitchen, maybe not a whole day, maybe like an afternoon, or maybe I split it out over 3 days. But what I like to do is make 7 breakfasts all at once, 7 lunches all at once, 7 dinners all at once. And I put them in jars. I know some people like to use the meal prep containers. You can get those on Amazon. I don't love them because I tend to eat all my food in one thing. Like my breakfast is steel cut oats with berries, walnuts, and a spoonful of peanut butter and some Truvia or something, stevia. And I'll just mash it all into one jar and eat it as my cereal. Where the meal prep containers, you would put your oatmeal in one and your berries in another. And that works if you like to eat that way, but I'm more of like a casserole, goulash, slop sort of person. So I just dump everything in, and I have jars in my fridge just lined up, 7 oatmeals, 7 rice and chicken, 7 of this, and that's what I would eat throughout the week. I do have a family, so I do it a little bit differently, where like every night when I make dinner, I double the recipe or even triple it. And then, there's only 3 of us left at home now, and so the 3 of us will get our food, and then I'll pack it away in properly portioned jars or containers, and we use those for lunches and dinners the next day. So usually I make 7 of the exact same breakfast. I vary the berries though. So I'll have 7 jars full of steel cut oats, with 3 different kinds of berries that I rotate. And then I'll do, for lunch, I like to eat the same thing. I am a creature of habit, so it does not bother me at all to eat chicken and rice and 2 different vegetables. I vary the vegetables every day so that I can, get all of the micronutrients that I need. And then it's easy. You're hungry, so you grab your jar, you put it in the microwave, you take it out, you eat it, and it becomes a habit. Now, the way to use this habit, practically speaking, in, like, say you're going to a restaurant, you can still use your meal chart. It becomes really easy to eat healthy wherever you go. So when I go to a restaurant, I will order, whatever meal that I like, and when it comes, I will look at it and say, okay, this looks like this much would be 1 serving of protein, and here's a serving of carb. And sometimes I'll like scrape it away on my plate so that I know that I'm eating the proper amounts. And then it's easy. I do the same thing I do at home. I get a protein, I get 2 vegetables, I get a carb, and if I have a treat, then that's built in too. And it works really well. You can do it when you go to someone else's house for a meal. If you're like at a family dinner or something, you do the same thing. You look at the food and you say, okay, I need a protein, I need a carb, I need 2 vegetables, and you just go grab what fits into your chart and eat your food and move on with life. And it makes it so much easier than the minute calorie counting, because that can make you feel crazy. And if you're a person who has struggled with eating disorders like I have, strict calorie counting is actually contradicted. You don't want to get neurotic about it and turn yourself into a crazy person. I have been there. So anyway, I hope these tips help. If you think that it's all too crazy and that's just way too much work, you can always just kind of have a rough plan of what your macros are, and when you get hungry, go looking for a protein, a carb, and a fat, and you'll end up doing pretty well. So anyway, comments, questions, let me know, and if you need it a little bit more personalized, I'd love to help you. So have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later.